There are a few things worse than that sinking feeling when you realise someone's nicked your bike. It sucks. But in this video, we're going to look at the chances of you getting your bike back if it is stolen. Did you know that in the UK, a massive 75% of bike theft victims don't bother reporting their case to the police? Trusting the authorities to recover stolen bikes is so low that the aggregated statistics aren't enough to gain the true extent of the problem. According to data from BitMo, a staggering 74,134 bikes were reported stolen in England in 2020. And that's just the ones we know about. If you're concerned that the police won't recover your bike, you're not alone. Some statistics suggest that just 5% of stolen bikes are returned to their rightful owners. However, perhaps you should have a little more faith in the authorities. While police rarely retrieve stolen bicycles in isolation, they often seize dozens or even hundreds of bikes when they crack professional bike thieves. And this is great, except for one thing. When the police find all these bikes, they often don't know who these bikes belong to. Indeed, the only way your stolen bike will be returned to you is if you have reported it, and ideally with a note of your bicycle's serial number. So even if it feels like a futile exercise, you should always report bicycle report theft to the police. While 5% of all stolen bikes are returned to their owners, around half of all stolen bikes are actually found by the police. But if the police can't figure out who the bike belongs to, it will ultimately be sold at police auction or donated to charity. If you become a victim of theft, here are 5 things we recommend you do in order to get your bike back, or at least being reimbursed for it. Reporting your bike as stolen should be the first thing on your list. You can contact the police via phone, online, or in person. When you file a report, you'll need to provide as much detail as you can about the appearance of your bike, the location it was stolen from, and a rough idea of what time it was stolen, if you know. Once your report is filed, the police will provide you with written evidence of your report. This will come in the form of a crime reference number. Remember to ask the police for your unique number. You'll need to give it to your insurer if you file a claim. It will also allow you to track the progress of your case. Each police case is unique, so the investigation methods used for each one vary. However, all bike theft cases are handled with a similar approach. This involves using Bike Register to search for stolen and recovered bikes, assessing CCTV from the area where the crime happened to establish the identity of the thief, talking to witnesses in the area if there were any. They may appeal for people in the local area to come forward with information. The next job on your list should be to report the theft to your insurance provider. Ideally, this should be done within 24 hours. When you report the theft to your insurer, you'll need to tell them you filed a police report. They'll want to check this and they'll ask for your crime reference number. Then, your provider should guide you through the process of getting your hands a new bike. To speed up the process, you should have the following information to hand: the date of the theft, your insurance policy number, crime reference, evidence that you own the bike, e.g. pictures, bank statements or receipts, photographs of the bike, evidence of any damaged items left behind by the thief, such as your bike lock. If you don't have specialist bicycle insurance, you may be covered under your home contents policy. If you are not sure, contact your provider for more information. If you don't have insurance, you'll unfortunately be left without a replacement until or if the police can recover your ride. You can search for your bike serial number on the bicycle identification databases like Bike Register. If you know your serial number but you didn't register your bike before it was stolen, you can still register it on a database after the theft occurred. On sites like Bike Register and Bike Index, you can then register your bike serial number as stolen. Many of these databases have groups of active users who will then help search for your bike. If your bike was sold on to someone after it was stolen and the thief didn't remove the serial number, the buyer can look this up on an identification database. If it is listed as stolen, they may be able to reach out to you and reunite you with your ride. Social media is one of the best ways to get the word out. If you're a member of any local community groups, share a quick post detailing the theft and include a picture of your bike. You can also offer a reward too. If you're posting on Facebook, make sure to set your post to public so it can be shared far and wide. You could also share the details of your theft on other platforms like Twitter. Ultimately, anywhere where your post can be shared far and wide is worth a shot. If you don't use social media or want to boost your chances of being reunited with your bike, you can print out posters and stick them around your local area. Make sure you include a picture of your bike and include any relevant details of the theft. You can also approach local cycling shops and ask them to display these posters in their store. This gives other eagle-eyed cyclists a chance to keep a lookout for your bike and improve your recovery efforts. Many thieves utilise local sales groups, apps and forums to try and sell their hot merchandise, often as quickly as possible. So keep an eye on as many local sales boards as you can, whether that be your local Things for Sale Facebook page or any other places second-hand items are typically sold. If you're watching this video and you still have your beloved bike, make a note of the serial number right now if you haven't already. Knowing your bicycle serial number is the most important piece of information you can have if you ever want to retrieve a stolen bike. Most bicycle serial numbers are located on the crank between the pedals, although they're sometimes found on the headset, on the rear stays, on the seat down the tube next to the crank or on top of the crank. Whenever you buy a new bicycle, make a note of the serial number. It might prove invaluable to you one day.